Hello everyone, Stafford Adventure here with another album review, and today I'm going to be looking at Adventures in Paradise by Minnie Riperton, and this review was by request. This album was released May 22nd of 1975. Some chart information: it peaked at number 18 on the US Billboard Pop Albums and number 5 on the US Billboard Black Albums, which is actually now the R&B Hip Hop chart, so yeah. It was released on the label Epic, and I don't know if it has any singles, I couldn't find any, but without further ado, let's get this started. Adventures in Paradise is R&B soul singer Minnie Riperton's third studio album. Epic was in a hurry to push out another one of her albums after her first two ran their course on the charts. Stevie Wonder, who co-produced her previous album Perfect Angel, was busy working on his own magnum opus, Songs in the Key of Life. Instead, Minnie and her husband hired Stuart Levine, who has worked with the likes of B.B. King, Sly Stone, Lionel Richie, Joe Cocker, and Patti LaBelle, just to name a few. This album takes a very intimate, deep look into the heart and soul of one of the greatest female voices in music history. As the title suggests, it really is an adventure. Right from the get-go, the opening track, Baby This Love I Have, combines soul with deep Sly and the Family Stone-esque funk, and the message continues throughout the entire LP with its themes of love and passion. The bass is low and the strings are simply astounding. The next track takes on a softer tone, however. Feelin' That the Feelin's Good has more of a pure R&B vibe with guitars and keyboards taking the lead here, with the bass mostly being in the background. And when it comes down to it, we go back into that heavy funk style that started this album out, and this time it seems we're getting into themes that deal more with religion, as it talks about getting back to the garden, perhaps referencing the Garden of Eden. It also mentions how the fools who blew it will be hiding from the light. It's not specifically clear as to what this means, and not to get all dark or anything, but it could be talking about how those who blew it on Earth and go to hell will be hiding from the light, as in hell's fire. Like I said, it's not clear as to what this means, but that's just a guess. After the first three tracks, we take a dive into sadder elements of this album. Along with love comes heartbreak, and that's where Minnie's Lament stands. On my first listen of this album, this particular track stood out the most for me, being that it's one of the only slow/sad songs in the album, but also just how haunting and brooding it is compared to everything else on here. It's perhaps the most vocally impressive track, as I actually couldn't help but compare Minnie's incredibly high, soaring vocals to the sound of a theremin. If you don't know what that is, it's an electronic instrument that was used in old-school science fiction films, and was eventually used by the Beach Boys on tracks like I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, Wild Honey, and more prominently Good Vibrations. Putting it simply, it's that weird, high-pitched vibration instrument. I digress though. This track is perhaps my favorite on here, because you can truly hear Minnie's sorrow as she talks about the pain stemming from a man who came in and left her. The following track, Love and Its Glory, introduces several things on this album. One of those things is a concept within a song, another is a blend of soul with Latin jazz, and the last is the actual theme of being on a tropical paradise. The concept is that a young girl named Maya falls in love with a guy named Elia, and as they grow older, they await the day they can get married. Unfortunately, Elia is from a poor family, and Maya's father wants her to marry a rich man, and no matter how much Maya begs and pleads, her father won't allow her to marry him. Once Maya is set up with a rich man and the wedding comes along, Elia then shows up by surprise, whisks Maya away, and they go to live together happily. That's kind of the theme of this song. When love is real, it'll make a way no matter what. The other part talks about wishing to live on a tropical paradise away from society and people who tell you what to do and how to live. It's a great track, and I love its cool feel, as well as its simple but cute story. The next track, which is the title track, goes back to that deep funk style and shows up more of Minnie's trademark high-pitched vocals. Her soulful singing and growls are what make this track all the more better. It talks of paradise being in your mind, so it's not a literal island or anything, but the thought is still intriguing. Inside My Love is perhaps the most famous track from this LP, as well as the most sexual. However, it's only deceptively sexual, as it talks about coming inside and explicit stuff of that sort. According to Minnie herself, however, it's not a song about asking a man to have sex with her, but to connect with her on a deeper level of love and intimacy. It's a gorgeous song and definitely a standout for me. I really enjoyed Alone in Brewster Bay. It starts off with a very atmospheric sample of the ocean and seagulls by a dock, and the opening is very poignant and gorgeous, with the main instruments on this one being an acoustic guitar and piano with light strings and percussion in the background, of course. It's a song of yearning and longing to see that special someone again, and considering it's talking about a bay, it could be that Minnie's lover is somewhere out at sea. And he's been gone for 3 days so far. She misses him so much that she's brought to tears and longs for him to come back to her. A magnificent track, and it's really cool how it samples the same ocean and seagulls at the end as it did in the beginning. With only 2 tracks left, the second to last is another acoustic guitar-led one called Simple Things, which takes on more of a pop jazz feel. The song's premise is exactly what the title says. The simple things in life are worth appreciating, like birds singing, the sun rising and going down, and playing out in the rain and such. It's not particularly a standout track, but very enjoyable and, well, simple. Finally, the last track is Don't Let Anyone Bring You Down, which opens with a gospel-style piano and flows into a great soul finisher. I would say the piano complementing her vocals is really what shines here. The title kind of speaks for itself, but it's very uplifting and a great way to finish this incredible album out. Overall, I really have nothing negative to say about this album at all. It's short, if that counts as negative, but it's a really, really great listen. It has a lot of that Motown style feel to it, with added spice coming from elements of jazz, deep funk, psychedelic soul, and quiet storm. Minnie's voice is truly a unique one, very one of a kind. I love listening to this album as many times as I have, and it's probably one of the best albums I've heard this year, even though it's from 1975. I would definitely put it on my top 15 or 20 favorite albums list because it's really just that good. If you're a fan of soul, funk, R&B, or just really love great music, I highly, highly recommend that you check this album out. Like I said, it's not long, but it's a really, really great listen. Anyways, thank you all for watching this another album review, and I also want to thank the person that requested this review. If you have any songs or albums that you like or recommend and you want to see a review, just leave a comment down below or hit me up on my Facebook or my Twitter. The links are in the description. And if you like this video, please hit that like button to show your love, and also subscribe if you want to see more. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video. So long.